Drew, what's the relationship like, if there is any relationship anymore, between Russia and China? I ask people this all the time because I can't seem to figure out what they are. Are they arch enemies? Are they friends? Are they friendly? Are they enemies sometimes and friends other times? I mean, all we talk about anymore is China. We forget about Russia. What's their relationship?
I think it's probably more of the latter there, where they're friends sometimes, they're enemies sometimes. So there's a couple common goals that they share, and one goes nicely together, and one doesn't. They both want to be the world superpower. They're all jealous of us because America's awesome. We've got unicorns, all sorts of amazing things here, and they want to be us. So they're both racing to get there. They're both spending to get there. They're both conducting intelligence operations and stuff all over the world to accomplish that goal. So in that sense, they divert from each other at points, because obviously there can only be one king. Again, it's us, back-to-back World War champs. But they then, where they come together is they want us out of that top spot. They don't like us. We're obviously major enemies. There are times where we work with them as well, but we are enemies. And they are enemies in that sense, they're friends in that sense too, because they want us out of the pocket. So they're gonna each try and chase that top dog spot, and at which point they're on their own. But then when it's convenient for them, and when they can make us look bad, when they can come together against us, they'll do it, because again, they want us out of the way.
Drew, please correct me if I'm wrong on this, but it doesn't seem like Islamic terror attacks are something they suffer from a lot of in Russia. I obviously know there have been some. It doesn't seem like there have been a lot there. Why? What are they doing? What are they not doing? Or am I wrong and there's been a ton of them?
Well, it depends. In Russia, you've got the Chechnya issue, and a lot of those Chechens now, that stuff still happens there, but a lot of those Chechens now will come and fight. A lot of them were fighting with ISIS. You'd see them come through Afghanistan. Those guys travel all. I mean, they're willing to fight. You pay them some money, or even if you don't, they're going to go fight because they're crazy. So you've got that issue there. But these two governments tap things down so much better than we do. We've gotten, and particularly under the last administration, we've gotten so apologetic for being awesome that we all of a sudden stop doing things right, and we make up rules for ourselves to follow when the enemies don't. Obviously, extremists don't play by rules, and that's why this has been such a asymmetric and difficult war, and it's lasted so long, is they just do things very, very differently than we do. And while we've adapted on how we respond to that in a lot of ways, we still have all of these rules in place. We're like, well, they can do all of this, but you can't do that. Like, you can't hurt them unless they, so Putin does a great job of that, to answer your question, though, because he just doesn't put up with it. And people know that, like, you don't screw around with Putin. Like, the dude's a baller. Even though he's our enemy, he's a baller, and you don't do that. And the same thing with the Chinese government. I mean, there's all sorts of data points there that you can look to where, you don't see as much upheaval there because they know what happens to those people. So I think part of it, that's a very simplified way of looking at it, but I think sometimes it is the best way to just look at it is they tamp things down. They say, hey, don't bring this here because we will come after you in a way that sometimes we don't, because we fight all of our own internal battles here with the Democrats and this, that, and the other. So,
hey, thanks so much for watching The First on YouTube. If you liked what you saw, go ahead and like and subscribe. You heard me. Like it, subscribe. You'll get a lot more of it and a lot more of me.